we said that. And if you are traveling, I know at some point everybody has told me they'll be in.
Hi Nupur, how are you doing?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, Reshma, Anjana. Lovely to have you all. Love the colors. You're wearing the colors of the chakras today. One of the chakras is what we will be discussing, Reshma. Well done. Hi, Anjana. Lovely to see you. Okay, so what I'm going to ask everybody is to we are going to start with a grounding meditation, a very brief one. So let's put ourselves on mute, which is a good practice, and then we can unmute ourselves whenever we wish to speak. All right, wonderful. So a very, very warm welcome to everybody on this beautiful journey to discover and unravel and balance and bless our own chakras. Let's begin by setting an intention of gathering our attention fully in this moment, here and now. Letting go of all that has transpired through the day for all of us. Leaving the yesterday behind. Let us fully arrive in the here and now. I want us to feel our presence as much as we can. So allow yourself to feel the body fully. Notice the arms and the legs. How are the legs? Are they flowing down on the floor? Are they folded in Sukhasana? How is the spine? Allowing your posture to be alert yet comfortable, straightening the spine as much as possible. Noticing the weight of the body on the sitting bones, resting on the chair or the couch below. Connecting with the body with love and gratitude. Holding a gentle smile on your face. Lovingly acknowledging your presence, the body, however it is. Noticing the arms and the way your hands are resting either on your lap or on the table. And now allowing your attention to be on your breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the chest. Stepping out of the mind and traveling from the head space to the heart space. Acknowledging this breath with gratitude as it always sustains us, keeps us alive, always in the moment, never yesterday or in the future, never in the past or tomorrow. So acknowledge your breath with gratitude and surrender. And as we acknowledge this miracle of our own breath and our body, let us open ourselves to experiencing ourselves beyond the form, into the formless, into the world of energy and vibrations that actually creates us and the universe around us. So taking 3 breaths of awareness, noticing each in-breath and each out-breath with the gratitude and awareness, and allowing your attention to be fully arriving in this moment, the here and now. And gently opening our eyes whenever we are ready, having taken our 3 breaths of awareness. Gently rubbing our palms and blessing ourselves, our face, our body with this awareness. And connecting with each one on the group before we start, lovingly connecting as a group. Because all the work that we will do individually today will impact the collective. And as the collective gets impacted, it will impact us individually. So understanding that we are actually creating a whirlpool of energy around us. So once again, with that meditation, a very warm welcome to everybody. I would like to start with a bit of engagement and asking you all, what do we know about chakras? What do you know? What is your intention? And what do you wish to gain from this sessions as we go forward? So anybody can unmute and speak.
So, Doctor, can I start?
Yes, please.
We have heard about it, chakras, since long. That there are chakras in the body, and each chakra plays a very extremely important role. During our yoga sessions, also we have been taught about this thing, but we never practiced it. Actually, how this chakras will help us in kind of synchronizing our body, our mind, and how does it help in curing your various ailments, and I'm sure this is a huge learning which is going to be there in the next 3 days about how do we use this the body and its chakras to live our life the way it should be. So that's my limited 2 cents.
Wonderful. No, that's wonderful.
I'm sure.
Absolutely, because it's very good to know what we want. Sometimes when we vocalize our intentions, we actually set it out in the universe. So it's very nice to hear you say that. Anybody else who wants to share? Shruti, Reshma, what do you think? What have you had an experience of working with chakras, or do you know about it?
Hello. So
Hi.
I did pranic healing level 1 just out of curiosity, but I never practiced it. And there I was introduced to 7 chakras, out of which I just remember a glimpse, which is solar plex chakra, which is important. I remember Ajna or Agna, I don't know how to pronounce it. So I do know chakras are there, but I have never believed in them because they were always yogic concepts to me. I'm here to understand the science behind it and to strengthen my belief in it so that I can start practicing it. So,
Wonderful. And you are a yoga teacher as well, isn't it?
so I love science. I love scientific. I love logics behind everything. So I want to always mix the 2 worlds. And I think you're the best person to teach that.
Thank you. I do my best, but that's exactly what drives me as well, because coming from a very scientific medical background, I have never taken anything which doesn't appeal to my logical brain, but yet keeping ourselves open to so much that our brains can't process, because it's a very limited organ, and the world is and the universe is so vast with so many mysteries.
Yes.
And this is again one of those beautiful mysteries. So very warm welcome.
Thank you.
And hope you can get many answers through this.
Thank you. Is it also possible to work on thyroid? Is there any chakra for that?
Yes, so we have the throat chakra, which is very much associated with the thyroid gland. Also, what would be very interesting is, and I would request Ashmita at some point to post the video of the Saturday talk, of the introductory talk that we did. So through the week, whenever those of you who might have missed that talk, just have a listen to that. You'll pick up some basic subtle points. So we will cover most of the things up. But because everything is so bespoke that, there may be something that you may find which I may not cover in session 1. So just have a listen to that. It'll give you a good overall of all the chakras in the body. Yes, Manoj sir.
Yeah, for me, ये लाइफ के चक्कर के अंदर बहुत घूमते हैं, तभी आपके चक्कर में हमें देखते हैं क्या घूमता है.
Okay, perfect. So the chakras of the life and the chakras of the body. Wonderful. Absolutely.
I'm just in light knot I'm making. Don't stick it in.
Absolutely. No. That's one of the things you have to learn as we go along is the playfulness
Yeah.
and the lightheartedness of all that we do and all that we learn. Because sometimes when we take things very seriously, they don't seep in well and we are not open. So it's very important for us to be light and easy with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anjana ji, Reshma, anybody would like to share?
So there is this, I don't think there's a desire to know the scientific part of it. I just think intuitively it makes sense that yes, there are energies, and I love the fact that there are colors associated, there are sounds associated. So it just somehow makes sense to me. So, I mean, I've not really studied them, but they've sort of, the knowledge has entered my life through people and, practices. And, but I have this firm belief that, yes, that somewhere them being aligned or being in a certain way, represents harmony. So like when one is feeling out of balance, so I kind of believe that without sort of
Beautiful.
having
Absolutely.
with it.
And what Reshma is actually sharing with us is so true, because we all have an intuitive knowing about a lot of things. This is basically because this is what we are. This is who we are. We are this energy. So there is a lot of intuitive knowing, and there is resonance with the truth. We may not know it yet, but there is a resonance, right? So really honoring that intuitive knowing that, yeah, something feels right here. Let me go deeper into it. Because that is our subconscious and superconscious knowledge that we all are born with. So that's really good that you wanted to explore it further. So that's fun. Anjana, please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
So I think, and good afternoon to everybody. I've done the pranic healing Reiki course 1 and 2 out of pure curiosity. Just practiced it literally on myself and maybe 1 or 2 people. I have learned about the chakras, looked at balancing it, pendulums, aura. But what actually prompted me to, I was considering the sense, it was more because having been a part of your other courses and my logical mind being very curious in terms of the scientific reasons for what it happens. Because the first time I was actually exposed to aura chakra was by one of the Russian research scientists who was in India in 92. So he actually had the pictures, like, in the sense of auric fields and things like that. And it was very curious because we were doing research between food and the different types of food, sattvic, rajasic, and how it helps the pranic system. Right. So since then, curiosity has always been there. And till date, I haven't really had, maybe I haven't gone seeking, but the opportunity to have a scientific version of what we have in the Indian system. Yeah. Like if you're looking at Reiki, you're looking at yoga, you're looking at a lot of other, information that's available, or people who teach you about auras and chakras. And the Vedas say that I think there's some 27,000 odd chakras in your body.
Yeah, absolutely, Anjana. Thank you for sharing that. And we have more than 7 chakras in the body. Let's start with that knowledge that we have many chakras, and not all chakras are even revealed to us yet. Because as Anjana very rightfully said, that this is actually come from our Vedic knowledge, from our ancestors, from our Rishi Munis. And this knowledge was actually downloaded to them. So the way the ancient beings were actually receiving information is through direct downloads, right? Now, what has science done? Science is always catching up with the spirituality. The science is always trying to prove what is known by intuition and knowingness and through spiritual download by beings all over the world. And it's not necessarily only the domain of the East, but a lot of beings from the West also download a lot of information and knowledge, right? So we are always playing a catch-up game because if you look at the scientific world, we have only it goes back only a few hundred years, right? It's not something that we have had for a long time, but we have existed and much more. We have managed to heal ourselves. We have managed to be in with the elements from the time our ancestors were hunter-gatherers and cavemen, right? So we have had these knowledges, these intuitive knowing which plant, which herb is actually going to take the venom off, which, or what is the way to heal when you get cut. So these are a lot of intuitive knowing that we've always had. So chakras actually has been a part of our download by our ancestors in terms of our spiritual nadis, right? So that's what the whole concept has been. And a lot of us have not resonated with it because we somehow feel it is a domain of a class of something what we label as woo-woo, or something which is cuckoo, or something which is very, very, up there, but doesn't make sense to our logical minds, because we have evolved into beings who are very logic oriented. We are very research oriented. And now, to our luck and to certain pioneers in this field, the video that I shared mentioned a doctor, a lady who has been studying biomedical resonance imaging. And not just her, there have been many people who are doing that. Like Anjana mentioned, a lot of scientists are measuring auras, right? And I'm a Reiki master, and I've been in this field for many years, because when I was working as a doctor, I also realized that there were a lot of aspects of a body and of a person that I was able to understand, not just from a scientific perspective, but from a very spiritual perspective, from a very energy perspective. So our intention in this workshop will be to bring the science, bring the spirituality, and open ourselves beyond both. I want us to all understand that let's not stay very obsessed or focused only on one aspect. And I want you to all now work from our own space of intuitiveness, from our own knowingness, beyond what has been told. Don't even take what I am saying, go beyond that. Don't only say what the videos are saying, really take it on board, because this is who we are. We are not just this mind and body. And that's what I'm going to challenge you further into understanding, going beyond the boundaries of this physical form into the formless. And that's the ultimate aim of this workshop, to get into that space of beingness, that energy space that we all are, right? So that's where we're going to begin with it. Please watch that video if you haven't watched. Shruti had shared that she found it interesting. I'm also going to be sharing I'm just going to ask everybody to mute themselves. Thank you. I'm also going to be sharing a research article of the same doctor. I hope I find it. I had kept it in one when I was researching it 6 months back. I had done a chakra workshop for the doctors here in the hospital. So we were actually making them understand that when you're tackling with the challenge or a disease for a patient, please go beyond and look at the energetics. So that's when I was doing a lot of research. And that's when that research paper had popped up. It's a very fascinating piece of work, and I'll try my best to share it as much. I'll keep sharing information as and when we go around. So I hope you can all benefit. Now let's begin. I'm going to keep sharing my presentation on and off, but just so you know, it's beyond the presentation. We are going to keep discussing, we're going to keep meditating, and it's going to be a very experiential workshop. So I'm just going to put
Dr. Nupur, hello.
Hello, hi Siddharth.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Actually, I'm just traveling somewhere outside about the airport. So I'll just exit this meeting. Can you share me the presentation and the recording later on, please?
Yes, so we'll share the presentation. The recording will be shared with you, Siddharth. The recording will be shared with by Ashmita. Maybe not today, but maybe by tomorrow she'll share the recording.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think recording is the most important thing. And just keep checking the WhatsApp group. Every now and then we'll be posting some important nuggets.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
wish
Thank you very much.
Safe.
And
We
my
should say
apologies for
flight.
not attending. My apologies for not attending.
No, don't worry, Siddharth. Life happens, you know. So just that's all right.
Thanks. Okay,
Have a
bye-bye.
safe flight. Yeah.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Can everybody see the presentation? Just give me a thumbs up if you can. Perfect. What I would like us to begin with is a concept of Zen Buddhism. It's a very powerful concept in Zen. It's called the beginner's mind, right? And the word we have for that is Shoshin. Now, what does beginner's mind or Shoshin tell us? It tells us to be childlike, to be open. So it's imagine that you have a cup and the cup is filled to the top. Now, anything we pour into that cup is just going to spill out, right? So today we are going to empty our cups. Let's empty ourselves of all our preconceptions, of our notions, of all that we feel we know and we don't know, and be really here with a very, very fresh pair of eyes and a very empty being, right? So Shoshin is a concept in mindfulness and Zen Buddhism that tells us that, you know, when we are in that space of childlike openness, curiosity, no matter how old we are, we open ourselves to a field of potentiality and we become innovators, right? So this is what I want all of us to embody, that today, let us be very open, let us be very curious, and let us have that flexibility that, you know, whatever I'm learning today is something I'm going to be very open to integrate, allow, and be curious and obviously question it, but first with a mind of openness. So really allowing all our previous concepts to flow out and just be here with that mind of Shoshin, or the beginner's mind, right? And then we open ourselves to the world of possibility and potentiality. Now, this is a very important image that resonates very deeply with me. And first, I would like us to look at the image on the right side of the screen. Now, this is the image that is actually telling us that there is a form, but that form is actually a light body. It's not the physical body. So we all must understand that we are all a field of energy. We are this field of vibration, and the cells that we are made up of are actually more space than matter. 99.99% of who we are and what we are is actually space and vibration, right? And you may have done more workshops with me before, but if this is your workshop for the first time, and I know some of you are joining me for the first time, what I want you to start understanding is that we have something which is called a cell. A cell is what makes up the organs. Now, a cell, an individual cell has subatomic particles, right? Now, those subatomic particles, now through quantum physics, we are understanding that those subatomic particles are more vibration, they are more light than matter. There was an experiment done, and I'm not going to go too much into the details because this is not a class on quantum physics, but just so you know that there was an experiment done which was called the double slit experiment. And in that experiment, what they discovered was that every electron existed as a potentiality, and it changed the wave function. It changed where it was available, where it presented itself as a waveform depending on the observer. So what the observer were observing, that changed the way the electron was presenting itself. It's called the double slit experiment or the observer effect. And by all means, you can go ahead and research it further. But why is that important to us today? What impact does it have on our knowing of ourselves? It tells us that at the subatomic particle, and that is a reality, we have subatomic particles that create us. We are more wave than particle. So we are more vibration and frequency than physical form. So the physical form is the densest form of a reality that exists, but actually our reality is in this form. So from today onwards, I want you to understand this and experience this. And you may say that, but I can only see myself as the form. That's absolutely true. But what we are understanding and knowing through quantum physics And the more subtle we get, now what do I mean by subtle? The more meditative we get, the more out of our minds we get, we connect with this field of intelligence, with this wave function and with vibrations and frequencies, right? And this is what is telling us in this diagram. I want you to sometimes just focus on an image. And the more you focus on the image, you'll be amazed that the more you'll dissolve into that image. You know, so from this day, from this session onwards, we are going to be connecting more with visions, with sounds, and with intuitive knowingness. And that's how we are going to flow into those aspects of our body or our beingness that so far we haven't connected with. So this now, if you see, is an image that is telling us that there is a whole universe around us. And the way we connect with the universe around us is through this energetic field. It is called a toroidal field. It is the torus field. And a lot of our things exist in this toroidal field. And this is very much like an apple. An apple has an indentation at the top and an apple has an indentation at the bottom, and then it has a structure. So that's the way our energy field exists around us and in the entire universe. And it's amazing that this image actually corresponds to this image on the left-hand side, right? Now, this image on the left-hand side is what has been, again, documented and recorded by the Heart Math Institute. Now, the Heart Math Institute is a very, very leading institute in California. And now I'm going to be associated with it because I am a part of them very soon, hopefully, doing some research and doing some work with them. They have recorded the vibrations of the heart, the electromagnetic field, which our heart energy generates, the anatomical heart. And they have recorded that's a very powerful field of energy that is generated, electromagnetic field. And it is the same toroidal field as the field that we knew through quantum physics as exists. So the interesting part of the puzzle is that more and more scientists are discovering this, that we are not just the body, we are actually a field of energy. And this is now being recorded. So the institute is Heart Math Institute, if you want to write that down. And the studies that they are doing are electromagnetic radiations, which are being emitted by the heart as an organ. And they believe that heart is one of the most powerful organs to release this electromagnetic field. And this actually impacts all of the cells of the body. Now, why is this so relevant to us in a chakra workshop? Is because we have to understand that heart center is a very powerful chakra system, which our ancient beings have told us. Our scriptures have told us. And now the science is catching up. As I always say, science is always playing a catch up with the spirit, with the spirituality, with the spirit. We get downloads, we get information. And through this workshop, our intention is to not only connect with all the chakras, but also to connect with the ability to download. When we go to the 7th chakra, and I'm going to actually go beyond the 7th chakra. Now, I said there are more than 7 chakras. There are 108 chakras, but there are 112, close to 114, and there are many more chakras which we are not even aware of, right? But beyond the 7 chakras, we are going to connect with 2 more chakras in this workshop. And if possible, we are going to go further beyond at some point and do a 12 chakras session, which is going to be very fascinating. But I won't promise it in this workshop. It will definitely be, especially for our group, at some point as a follow-up session. So this is what I want you to open up to believe and accept, and openly with a Shoshan or a beginner's mind, that you are not just the body, you are a field of intelligence. And the moment we start recognizing this, that moment, everything in our experience becomes energy. The people we interact with become energy, our challenges become energy, our reality becomes energy. And that's where the magic begins. Because we cannot change anything at the dense level, but we can change things when we become more fluid and we become more wave, right? So a beautiful analogy that comes to me is that water exists as vapor and water exists as ice. The densest form is that ice, and that's what the body is, 3-dimensional, dense. By our work, we are going to go more into the flow, and then into the invisible, the energy, right? So that's our intention. So coming to what really chakras are. As I said, we have 7 basic chakras. And in the introductory video, which you will be, you can find on YouTube, but maybe we'll request Ashmita to share it on the group as well. We have touched very briefly on each of these chakras, right? Now, what I want us to understand is that these chakras are actually vortices of energy, right? These are vortices of energy that are creating our energetic field. They're creating our energy field. They are not just in 3 dimensions. They are in multiple dimensions. But for the sake of understanding from the logical mind, let's imagine a vortex, a whirlpool of energy and a vibration. It has a center, and then it has a radiation around it. It kind of emits it. So like when you put a little pebble, you throw a pebble in a still pond. Now the pebble in a pond actually impacts only one point, but it creates vibrations, and that vibrational pool is what we are talking about, right? So that is what we are talking about. And a lot of times for the people who have done the studies, they say that it is not in the body, but the body is being formed from these chakra systems. It is emanating out of this. Now, there is a book which I really recommend by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I'm going to share the name of that book. It's in fact in my was in my other room. It talks about these energy centers. Okay, and Dr. Joe Dispenza is again another individual who has done massive research into the vibrations, into frequencies, and they have recorded through instruments each chakra center, right? And they call it the energy centers. And they say that each energy center that I'm talking about, the whirlpool, has certain nerve plexuses associated with it. Most of the centers have, not all, but most centers have. And what I want us to understand is that these centers are impacting the neurological tissues in the body, because we have something called the mesenteric plexus. The nerves in our body have certain areas where they all come together and create a plexus. A plexus is a network, right? From where that they emanate and they branch out. It's fascinating to know that each center that we realize is an energy center actually has a nerve center associated with it, right? So as we go into each chakra, we'll actually learn these centers. Like, you know, the solar plexus center has actually got the solar plexus as a nerve center. Nerve plexus is there. So now what we are recognizing is those nerve plexuses are impacting our endocrine glands. So every nerve plexus has an endocrine gland and an exocrine gland associated with it. So the more we are going to go deeper into it, we are understanding that these chakras are actually associated with these centers. And why are these centers important? Because they release certain hormones. They release certain, like for example, when we come to the sex organs and the root chakra and the sacral chakra responsible, we have ovaries. We have testes in male, and they are releasing very strong hormones like testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. So when we are in coherence and balance, these organ systems and these hormones are creating better secretions and better homeostasis, that is balance in the body. So it's all the more important for us when we are in the stages of puberty, because that is the time when these organs are important, or when we are in our middle age, when we are going towards menopause, when we are aging, because even the male body ages and it gets impacted by the production of male sexual hormones. And then we go up and above into our other hormones like the insulin, into our oxytocin, and we go all the way into pineal gland. And a lot of people understand now that pineal gland is considered to be the third eye. So when we talk about the chakra here, the Agna chakra or Agya chakra, we will talk about the pineal gland and then the pituitary gland. So with each chakra, we will understand how it's flowing and what's associated, the imbalances and also the emotions. Now, I want us to, before I go into the specifications of each chakra, and today we are going to be talking more about the root chakra. And we're going to be talking about, in general, all the chakras and deep dive into each chakra. I want you all to take 5 to 7 minutes in your journals and recognize certain key areas of struggle. Physically, in the body, the areas that you are struggling with. Emotionally, what are the common emotions that you feel you are battling with, or are patterns that you're struggling with? It could be emotions like anger. It could be emotions like regret, guilt. It could be emotions like inability to love and receive and express love. So really allow yourself to open up and express there. And then I want you to talk about areas of life they are struggling with. So first we talked about the physical part of the body challenges, then we talked about the emotional challenges, then we talk about life challenges. What are the most key life challenges that you're facing? It could be a financial challenge. It could be blocks in relationships. It could be inability to relate with other human beings. It could be existential issues. So I want you to really take 5-10 minutes, and this is going to be a foundation for us. So don't scrimp here. Really go and pour your heart out. And then I'll tell you the reason why we are doing this, right? You can put your cameras off, really take your time and do this. And we will regroup back in 7 minutes. And if you have not completed, we'll give you another 2-3 minutes. Yeah.
And first is physical, and second is emotional, and third is life.
Physical, emotional. Then you can go about the challenges of life, right? So include everything in your human experience that you feel. Yes, sir. Naveen ji, boliye.
No, I was the same question I was asking. So
Yeah.
it's answered. Thank you.
Yeah. Include even mental challenges, psychologically, if you're feeling certain restrictions, stress, anxiety, depression, anything that comes to you, please add. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, you can start putting your cameras on. So for those of us who are done with this, I would like to ask you to keep this list handy, because as we are going through this workshop, different aspects of our life will resonate with different chakras. And as we are going forward, I will then ask you to relate that chakra with those challenges. And then I want us to discuss that, oh, is this related to that chakra? This problem, is that related to this problem? The intention being that you are able to become the diagnosticians, the energetic diagnosticians of your own life challenges, right? That's the intention of this, that we are able to understand, because now we know that each chakra has an impact on the body and on our emotions and on our energy field. Because what is creating our energy field is our emotions and our reactions, our behaviors, right? And when we understand the world of vibrations and frequencies, we'll understand in this world, like attracts like. So when we are resonating with a particular emotional frequency, we will attract more experiences around that emotional frequency. And then that becomes our reality, right? Because that's the way the world of frequencies work. And now when we understand that, and when we are starting to shift our emotions, when we are starting to shift our reactions, we will be amazed at how nothing on the outside will change. We are not asking people to change. We are not telling them to change, but by the power of our own vibration and frequency, everything we attract will be in alignment to that. And that is the concept of coherence. I want you to now start understanding life in terms of coherence and dissonance, resonance and dissonance. These are the words which are very important. We need to be in coherence. That means we need to be in an even state of vibrations and frequencies. We need to be centered. We need to be in alignment. The more we are thinking, feeling, and vibing that way, the more our life situations, physical bodies, and our emotional relationships will tend to be in coherence, in alignment to how aligned we are. And that's what the chakra system does for us. It allows this connection as a flow to come into alignment and coherence. And then we will understand the moment. The intention is that this workshop will end after 4 sessions. But you will be able to recognize, oh, I am not in coherence. I am being in dissonance. I'm all over the place. Let me come into the moment. That is the intention, that over these sessions, you are able to manage your own self so well, right? Now, because I told you that each chakra has more or less, each chakra in the body has a nerve plexus associated with it. So I wanted to understand that each chakra has a mind of its own. We think our mind is only in the central nervous system, which is the brain. But you'll be amazed to know that actually there are certain key parts of the body where our brains are. So heart has certain centers, a very strong neural network. When we come to heart chakra, we'll talk about that. Solar plexus, or we all know we have something called the gut brain now, right? Gut brain axis is a common knowledge now. Most dietitians talk about it. Most psychologists talk about it. And we know that when we feel that we have to give a big presentation, or we have a big exam coming up, or we are meeting a challenging individual, our stomachs start to go into rumbles. We get butterflies, a lot of us get loosies. Like when I used to, typically for me, when I was going for my exams, especially I remember it was my surgery exams when I was doing specialization, half of the time I was in the toilet because of the stress of it, because I was getting loosies. And I had to actually, my professor actually had to come out, and he was the external examiner, and but he was my teacher from my undergrad, so he knew me, and he actually said, this is your pattern, that you're fine, so just breathe. And that's all he told me is breathe, go out, take some fresh air, sit under a tree. That's what the surgeon is telling me, maxillofacial surgeon is telling me, go out, sit under a tree, take few deep breaths, and then come back. And I will tell you the point why he said sit under a tree, because that is the most grounding thing we can do ourselves. So we are going to now dive straight into root chakra. But I want you to know that we have brains all over our body. It's not just in our central nervous system or in this cranial vault, which we call the skull. And that's the importance to understand, that when we are impacting our chakras, we are impacting brains at different levels. And these mind fields are creating our elevated experiences, right? So understand that this is a very, very interesting and an intriguing science. I'm going to connect back to the presentation so that we now can go deeply into each chakra. Before we deep dive into the chakras, what is really important for us to understand is that there is a certain basic aspect and basic foundation that I want us to understand when we are doing any work with chakras. And in fact, whenever you're doing any work in life from this point onwards, any challenge that you are meeting, any workshop that you're doing, anything that you're resonating with, I want you to keep these 5 key elements in your life. How are we going to approach each chakra is through awareness. And awareness includes attention. And I want us to understand a fundamental principle of life and vibe of universe is energy flows where attention goes. Right? Wherever we are focusing our attention, that's what is becoming reality in our experience. So awareness and attention and flow are very important. And I want you to really be very mindful of this aspect. And the more we'll work together, you'll understand how it impacts us. Now, the second thing is visualization, right? Now, visualization, imaginations are our superpowers as beings in the human form. If you understand that you have come from suppose you understand that you are an avatar, and we are going to be even talking about avatar states when we do heart above work. Imagine if you're an avatar and you have been told that you have to go on planet Earth and live this life in this form, this costume, and this will be your label, that the world will identify you with your label, your name. What is an avatar always has some superpowers. Now, your superpower is your ability to visualize and imagine. We already do this, but we don't know this. We visualize stressing situations, we visualize problems in our life, and we stir us in difficult situations. When we say I'm anxious, what does that mean? You have thought of a future event which has not happened. You have thought of it to the point of it has become so real that you're living it with fear, anxiety, and stress, something that has not even happened. Or you are actually going back into the past and reliving the trauma of the past, and you are judging the present moment. You're judging the individual in front of you because of your past experiences, right? So we are always in the world of imagination and make-believe. We just don't know how to use it as our superpower, right? So this is what we are going to be talking about in each chakra to balance and harmonize. We talk about vibrations. Now, I cannot stress enough about the vibrations. While you guys were writing your challenges, I actually went and got this book. This is a very good book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And if you're on this journey with me, I believe it's going to be a lifelong association. This is a book I recommend all of us buy. I will send the name. This is a scientist who has gone through the worst in his life. He had a spinal fracture. He recovered his spine through the power of visualization. And not only has he learned the techniques and done it, now he teaches it. And not only does he teach, he does experiments, scientific experiments. So I want you to all pick up this book. If you can't pick up this book, there is enough and more on YouTube, right? And as much as I can possibly, I will share. But my intention is that we all become pioneers in this field. So understand the world of vibrations, frequencies, and energy. Everything is energy. Emotions are energy in motion, emotion, right? So that's one concept I want you to start relating to. Consciousness. We have to understand that there is something called the human consciousness, and there is something called the collective consciousness, and then the universal consciousness. So we have to start widening our scope from this limited myopic view of just the mind and body and looking at other people as that and challenges as that. I want us to know that with everything that we are doing, we are expanding our consciousness. And in the next session, session 2, I'm actually going to be telling you about levels of consciousness, how emotions are resonating with different levels of consciousness. When we are doing our chakra work, we are actually expanding the chakras and we are expanding our consciousness at that level. And I want you to understand something very fascinating. And I'm also an Akashic reader. I have also done a lot of work in Akashic work and things like that. What we have understood is that when we bring in energy and light into the world, because there is something called cosmic intelligence and cosmic collectiveness, we impact not just us, but our field around us. We impact our homes, the people, the individuals we work with, and the society we are in, and the planet. Now, this has been proven through Reiki and through other scientific experiments. Now we are recognizing that when we pray for somebody, and that's the reason I tell you to pick up this book, because this has a lot of such experiments and proof around that we are actually creating a shift in the energetic vibration, and that can be actually monitored and read. And that individual across, he may be miles away, she may be miles away, continents away, they will receive it in the form of an energetic vibration, right? Now, if I told our grandparents about a mobile phone, none of them would have understood that you can actually do a video WhatsApp call with somebody. How has it brought about? It has been brought about because of the energy field, the vibrations, the frequencies, the wavelengths, the Wi-Fi, wireless. What is Wi-Fi? It is wireless energy vibrations. So now we must imagine that we have come so far, but something has become so obvious to us. Imagine the generations to come forward. For them, this will be obvious that we are vibration and we are consciousness, and they will connect at that level. And then the power of elevated emotions. When I talk about coherence, when I talk about resonance, when I talk about each chakra having a mind, how do we impact that chakra is through the power of elevated emotion. Elevated emotions of love, gratitude, appreciation, kindness, and compassion. Some of these elevated emotions are the keys to unlock the chakras. Every chakra in our life will be unlocked through an elevated emotion. And then I want you to understand that every problem that you have listed on that page will be unlocked through these 5 keys. So let this be the foundation of your work. I want you to integrate this knowledge, not just for this workshop, but for your life. Every challenge has to be now met with these 5 key principles, right? And now as we go into each chakra, we are going to keep these 5 key elements and we are going to work with these 5 key elements, right? Anybody has any doubts, questions? Because I know it's a lot of big concepts here, but if you actually look at them, they're all very interrelated. Anybody has any question that they want to ask at this stage? Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Jain.
No, I'm okay. I mean, I'm just listening. Actually, I had this question on the vibrations, and I honestly think when you mentioned about it, then if you're praying for somebody, and I strongly believe and have also experienced that it reaches that person very quickly. Yes. And really, you get connected, and whatever thing you're praying for, it gets resolved. So it is a very strong. So this is very experience.
Yes. Thank you for validating that, and thank you for sharing your experience, because what we have to understand is we experience this, but we forget the power of it. You may think of somebody and they message you or they call you or they come in front of you.
Yes.
Right? That is the power of our intention and intuition. Sometimes you may also notice that when we are walking around in life, we don't bump into people. You know, this is a very interesting phenomena which we know in the world of quantum physics, and they have a word for it, that when we are walking, what is it that makes us stop? Most of the time we are not bumping into people. In the busiest of streets also, we navigate streets without bumping into each other. That is because there is a field that we all have, and that field is actually guiding us. It's reorienting. It's a very interesting concept. If I pick up that article, I'll share with you all. And then thirdly, if you notice, if you're ever going in a plane, one of our participants is right now in the plane, Siddharth is there. If you're in a train, or if you're in a bus, or you're just in a room full of people, the moment somebody's staring at you, you look up and you see them. You may be looking away, but the moment you know, you might be reading a book. And that happens to me a lot in London. Because I am in a public transport. I am in a train, we call it tube line here. And I'm mostly reading a book. I'll be reading a book, I will not be aware of anybody, but all of a sudden I look up and somebody would be staring at me. And I've seen this happen with many people, but they don't notice it. Why does that happen? Because there is a field of energy and there is consciousness that is always informing us. So now I want us to become aware of these things. The more aware we become, they improve not only our health, but our relationships and our business transactions. Because we have to understand at the physical level, we have to learn to live with people as relationships. We need finances, we need abundance, and we need health, and we need prosperity in all aspects of our life. So these key principles and these chakra understanding is my intention that we all align in resonance with this work. Right?
Are you going to get into details of each of these basic concepts
Yes.
when we go further?
Yes. So sometimes we will talk more about awareness. Sometimes we'll talk more about vibrations. But by the end of these, and also I wanted to all of you to know that we are not just doing 3 sessions. We are doing 4 sessions. There will be a 4th follow-up session, which the time I'm not fixing yet, but I would do my best so that all of you are available for that. It'll be a coming together. And typically every month or so, we will come together because my intention is then to introduce you to 12 chakra systems. So this, though you have signed up for only a 3-session workshop, I don't think you'll get rid of me that easily. Okay. Yes, Anjana, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of times, I think without awareness, we do a lot of self-sabotage to ourselves.
Yes.
How do we actually become aware of it and get out of that pattern?
That's a very interesting question. Believe it or not, I have just finished a workshop on self-sabotage for corporates. It was a 4-session workshop, all senior executive, and the name of the workshop was self-sabotage. So I'm smiling because of that, the timing of this question. Self-sabotage, again, is in specific ways in which we do. It could be in terms of imposter syndrome. It could be in I am not enough. It could be, so understanding, the reason I asked you to write is to actually understand how we are self-sabotaging. What is your key space in which you are self-sabotaging, right? So understanding and asking yourself, because, if you ask yourself, a lot of us don't believe that we can do what we do, right? So what I will do is probably I will share that slide with you all. Those are the most common ways we self-sabotage. So asking yourself the questions, am I doing any of these? And then understanding that the self-sabotage has a root of a limiting belief in it. Every self-sabotage has a root that is a limiting belief in it. That either I am not worthy, I am not good enough, life is hard, money is not easy to come by, relationships are difficult to navigate. And these limiting beliefs are what we have got in our subconscious as messages, as conditions, either in our environment or through other people or through our own misplaced beliefs. So when we are doing, you will be understanding how each chakra, my intention, obviously in that workshop, I didn't even mention the word chakra, but one of the senior executives on the board actually asked me that, Dr. Nupur, is this associated with root chakra? Because he was a yogi practitioner. And I said, absolutely, sir. If you want, you can join our chakra workshop, which is starting in 2 weeks' time. So, all of these things have chakra associations with them, right? So, Anjana, I will do my best to do that. And when we talk about the consciousness, which we are going to go into much more detail in next session, we'll also understand that. Now, the reason I also wanted you all to write your challenges is, I wanted you to know this, that I am a Akashic Records practitioner. And I also do something which is called the spiritual response therapy, which is we use pendulum as a channel, a dowsing instrument to clear and to access the Akashic records and clear those things at a very spiritual. So it's a very spiritual practice. It's a very energy healing modality. Now, for any of you who would want me to work on your chakras at that level, I would like to offer this as a part of the workshop to you, where I would actually go individually with your permission, check your each chakras energetically through the pendulum dowsing, and then give you a report of what is the chakras levels. And then after the workshop, then I will clear them also simultaneously. When we are doing the dowsing work through SRT and Akashic records, we clear the chakras and then we harmonize and balance them. And I will give you your readings also with that. So it's going to take me a couple of weeks, but whoever is interested, feel free to write that down in the chat. And then I want you to send me a picture of the challenges that you have individually. If you don't want to expose it in the group, by all means, feel free to do that in the group if you wish to. If you don't wish to do it, you all have my WhatsApp number. You can send it to me independently. My intention is that through this workshop on chakras, I also work with all of you individually with your individual challenges. So if this is something you're interested in, please feel free to reach out.
Can it be done online, this pendulum which you just mentioned?
Yes, so I will do it in my own time. I will give you the report, but if you want to do it on the call with me, we can do that also. But how it works is you have a pendulum, it's called dowsing. And then there is a technique which you call spiritual response therapy or Akashic records. These are lots of records that we go, but I'll be specific to the chakras. And then I'm going to check for each of you. So you don't need to be physically present. As long as I have your name, as long as I have your age, and as long as I have your permission, I can do this for you. Yeah. So then you can let me know and I'll share that with you. And I'll be very happy to show you how I work maybe in the next session. It's a very, very interesting spiritual energy clearing modality.
So before you go further, because you mentioned about bring your book and the pen, but we are not able to write down everything. So is that okay? We just trying to.
No, that's fine. You'll have the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have the recording, sir. So you have the recording, and I would say that the reason. So Ashish and I were debating whether we should have this workshop back to back 3 days, because we have done Alchemy of Healing back to back, or we should give it a week. And I thought maybe we should give it a week because there is so much that you will be learning. So in your own time, listen to this recording again, make your notes, write your questions down, because sometimes your questions will come when you're just listening to the recording. You can pause it, you can play it, you can rewind it. So, write your questions down. And when we meet for the next session, then you'll have more questions to ask and you'll be more clear with what you want, right? So absolutely, please go ahead. Now we are coming.
Just 1 second. One of the life issue is that, there's too many things in this world now. The download of so much of information, both professionally and personally. I mean, to go through this, to go through this again, itself is a challenge. So
yeah, no, that's fine, sir. Set your intention. What's very important is, and that's one thing we are going to be doing a lot in this workshop. Set the power of intention setting. When we ask ourselves, what is most important to me? What is it that's going to add quality to my life, quantity to my time, and energy in my interactions? I need to do that. So even if that means you take out 15 minutes and only watch the 15 minutes of recording for yourself on that day. You don't have to watch it in one go at all, but understand that we are all doing work for ourselves. And time can be a limited commodity, or time can be limitless. It depends on the way we are perceiving it. So we just need to have the intention that this is for my highest good, and I am going to invest this for myself, because this is not just for this lifetime, but because we are talking about vibrations, energy, it's actually for our soul consciousness. Time will create for you, but you need to have that intention. And you can do it in bite-sized pieces. See 10 minutes one day, see 15 minutes one day. You'll be amazed that once your intention is there, the time will create for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
But have the intention. That's really important.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anjana, your hand is up. Is that the question from the last time?
Yeah, that was the question from the last time. Sorry, I'll put it.
No problem. All right. So now let us go to root chakra. Now we have to understand that what is every chakra will be dealt in these multiple elements. Okay. Now, what I'm going to talk about the element first. Our human body represents, because it is a consciousness that we are representing. So it's not just the body consciousness, it is also the universal consciousness. So our universe is made up of 5 elements, right? We know that it is the earth, it is the air, it is the water, it is the fire, and it is the vayu, or the ether, the cosmos. So these are the elements that the universe is made of, 5 elements. And we all know that the body is also made up of 5 elements, right? Now, each chakra represents an element. And the lower chakras, the lower 3 chakras are considered to be the chakras which are to do more with the physical existential issues of human life. And they are more dense chakras. So the lower 3 chakras are more with earth, water, fire. Okay, and I will talk about it in depth for each chakra. And the heart chakra is considered to be the bridge between the physical, the dense, and the formless, or the spirit, right? It's the bridge. And then as we go higher up, from the throat, the third eye, to the crown chakra and above, those are the chakras connecting us with the cosmos. So those are more chakras to do with air, with ether element, or the vayu element, okay, with the space element. So this is how the chakras are. So that means it becomes more subtle and subtle as we go up. The root chakra is the chakra which is at the base of our spinal cord. Is the chakra almost at the near our, if you could say, if our spinal cord, if you remember the way it looks, it has something what we call the tailbone. At the base of the tailbone is the root chakra. And it is also a chakra around our excretory and our sexual organs. So it's what they call, it's around the perineum. It's the perineum area between the anal and the vaginal opening, or the sexual organs of the male genital system. So it is typically at the base of that space. It is connected with our earth element because that is the foundation of our being. Okay, and the color is red, right? Now we have to understand that I'm going to ask you to, I'm actually going to take you into a practice today where we are going to work very deeply with the with our root chakra. This is the representation on the right side, if you can see that it is a red color petal, like a flower, and it has a word, it has a bij mantra. Now, if we talk about now, one of the very powerful vibrations, when we're talking about the word of vibrations and frequencies, is a sound of a mantra, which is called the bij mantra. Okay, now even NASA has documented, the space agency, that the first primordial sound of the universe, and there is a primordial sound of the universe, is Om. It is a vibration that is already existing in the universal cosmos, and NASA has recorded that. Now, I want you to understand that one of the very powerful ways of activating each chakra is by the bij mantra of that. And this bij mantra is the vibration of that mantra, of that chakra. And this is recorded by scientists. And for the root chakra, it is Lam. Lam. Right? So I will also be sharing a YouTube where you are just listening to that sound and seeing it. So when I ask you to practice root chakra activation in your own time, what we are going to be doing is listening to that audio, and in the beginning, look at it. Look at the red color. Look at that red color. Keep looking at it, and then close your eyes and then feel that red color in that root area for yourself. Imagine your awareness. Remember the 5 key principles. Bring your awareness and attention down to the root chakra. What is root chakra? However it appears in your visualization, but keep it at the base of your spine, around your perineum, around that spot which I've just discussed with you. Keep your awareness and attention there and look at that video, look at it, and then close your eyes and then just stay with the vibration of the mantra Lam. And you can stay with it. And eventually I want you to say it out aloud. Lam. Lam. And that video could be for 1 hour plus, but I want you to practice it just for 5 minutes every day minimum. And it could be any time of the day. Okay, just 5 minutes. And there is also something which is very powerful in our scriptures, which is the mudras. You must have seen a lot of us when we meditate, we sit in this mudra. Now, this is a very powerful mudra for root chakra. Okay, but there is also another mudra that I want us to learn today for root chakra. I want us to look at me first. Okay, what are we going to do in this mudra? We are going to keep our hands on our heart. We are going to keep our ring finger collapsed, little finger, pinky we call it, little finger collapsed, ring finger collapsed. We'll just leave our middle finger standing up. And we are going to loop the index and the thumb around each other. Okay, so I'll show you. So suppose this is the thing, we are going to make it a loop. Okay, so once again, bring the hands together, collapsing the little finger, collapsing the ring finger, keeping the middle finger standing up. Bring your thumb and index finger and loop it so that they form an eye like this inside each other. Very simple. Everybody's got that? Yeah. So now that we have, this is a mudra for Mooladhara. And you can put it now in your lap, facing downwards with the finger around your root chakra, or you can just keep it here, whatever you wish. It's your intention. And when you are doing that chanting, I want you to just stay in this mudra. It's a very simple mudra. Or if this feels complicated, just stay with this mudra. Both mudras work very well for root chakra. Now, what are we doing? We are creating sound vibrations, vision vibrations of the red color by visualizing the red color around us. And we are engaging the proprioceptive and the mudras. And we know that all our hands have very powerful chakra points. So when we do this, we activate that. Just 5 minutes in a day is enough. Okay. Now, this is one practice that I want you to understand is very powerful. Now, every chakra, now let's talk about root chakra. Root chakra is the root, Mool Adhara. Mool Adhar of our life. Mooladhara is the Adhar. Adhar is the foundation. The foundation of our life is Mooladhara. It's the foundational chakra. So any times when we are having existential issues, not trusting life, not feeling a part of life, not feeling that I belong here, a sense of not belonging in our lives, in our families, in our jobs, or just in our bodies. Sometimes we don't feel a sense of belongingness. That means our root chakra is impacted. It is a foundational chakra. And a key way of interacting and balancing each chakra is the affirmations. Now, affirmations is anybody who doesn't know the word affirmations. Anybody here doesn't know the word affirmations and what do they mean? Do we all know what affirmations are? Very good. Affirmations is what we are affirming as a mantra. So though we have a Bij mantra of Lam, every chakra has a very profound affirmations. And the key point of root chakra is to keep us foundationally secure and safe. So a very key affirmation is, I am safe, I am secure. Because imagine creating a building and not having a foundation. If you have noticed a construction site, they dig much deep. The taller the building, the deeper they dig inside the earth to create a strong foundation. That's who we are. Our root chakra is that deep foundation, and it keeps us safe in our life. Okay, I'm going to do a practice with you, a meditation for root chakra. I want you to do that with me today. And I want you to, through the days to come, practice the video I'll be sending you. Just for 5 minutes, that's enough. If you can remember to do the grounding meditation that I'm going to be talking to you about, that's also great. Don't feel overwhelmed with anything. Do step by step. You have 7 days. One day you can choose to do what. So a balanced root chakra is a grounded, when you feel grounded and embodied, not only in the body, but in your life, you feel stable, calm, and centered. You have a sense of safety and security. A sense of safety and security has nothing to do with our bank balance. The people who are living with the minimum wage are also can be very safe and secure. So understand that there is an inherent feeling of safety and security that should be there in our lives. And we can do that with a balanced root chakra and trust in life that everything that happens for my best. And I trust that. All of that is the work of root chakra. And root chakra also impacts our organ systems, right? And when it is out of imbalance, we feel fear, we feel lack of direction, we feel confused, we feel clouded, we feel insecure, and we feel unsafe, right? So these are some key symptoms where you can diagnose how balanced or imbalanced your root chakra is. Physically, it impacts directly our organs around that. Now, the sexual organs are impacted by root chakra. Our reproductive abilities are impacted by our root chakra, also our sacral chakra. Now, these chakras are not independent of each other. They are vibrational energies. They merge into each other. So sacral and root will coexist together and they will impact things together. But typically, if you have problems around large intestine, bowel issues, constipation, piles, if you have lower back issues, if you have legs and feet issues, if you feel a sense of numbness in your legs, if you have got leg pain, knee problems, if you have got sciatica, if you have got varicose veins, then some of the key, along with the physical aspect, I want you to recognize that I need to work more on my root chakra, right? So this is what the root chakra has impact on. And it's like simple things that, you know, we can, and I'm going to be doing a meditation today, so you will understand how we are going to be balancing it. Key areas of balancing is grounding. That's what we are going to be learning today. Bowing to Mother Earth, okay? Because it's an element of Earth. Imagine the planet Earth, and we call it the Mother Earth. It's a planet, it's a sacred planet. A very, very ancient practice in our Vedic philosophy used to be bowing down and putting the forehead to the earth, you know, because what are we doing? We are, and you remember, elevated emotions was one of the 5 key elements. Bowing to Mother Earth with gratitude and love is a very elevated emotion that we activate our root chakra with. And there is a very powerful mantra that we say in our practice. It's called Tera Tujhko Arpan. Yours back to you. We acknowledge that Mother Earth is giving us so much. We cannot exist without Mother Earth, and nothing that we have done to get it. It is the universe blessing us abundantly through Mother Earth. Everything we eat, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe, everything is a gift by universe to us. So when we bow with our forehead and touch the floor and do that as a practice, and you'll be amazed how grounded you'll become. And you can even try using this mantra that was taught to me by a shaman. A shaman had come and he had taught us that, you know, say these words, Tera, yours back to you, Mother Earth, or Tera Tujhko Arpan. A very, very quick way of centering your, balancing your chakra. Wearing red clothes. So if you have a meeting that you have to go to, red colors have a very powerful vibration. You could wear red colors. They especially ground you. Eating red fruits, red food material, red things grounds you immediately. Walking barefoot on the earth. When you walk on the grass barefoot on the ground, that is very, very grounding. Working with the gardening. You don't have to have a sprawling garden. If you have a potted plant, just working with the plant, taking care of the earth, putting your fingers in the earth, and doing work, housework. In pandemic, people were doing housework on their own. When we do housework, that is very grounding. Why? Because we move from the mind, only mind jumble of thoughts, worries, fears, into the body. We are working with our bodies. That's very grounding. And using affirmations. I am safe. I am grounded. I am secure. These are multiple ways in which we ground our root chakra. Now, I want us to do something very powerful today. It is a grounding meditation. which we are going to be ending our session with today. And if you want to just repeat, if you may run 5 minutes overtime, if you have to definitely leave by 2 p.m., then you can leave, but I promise I won't go beyond 5 minutes. But this is the last part of the recording. So you can play this recording if you miss it for any reason, or if you want to repeat it, you can play it. I'm going to be teaching you another technique, and I'm going to be doing that in session 2. It is imagining a 3-dimensional version of yourself and then working with it. But today, I don't want to overwhelm you. So for now, let's do this practice and then practice through the week all that we have shared today and work only on the root chakra. Forget about other chakras. We are going to do one final session where we are working with all chakras together, but now we are taking baby steps. So stay with the beginner's mind. Remember Shoshan, okay? Now imagine a tree, okay? In your imagination, in your visualization, I want you to imagine a tree, a beautiful tree, okay? And trees are these energy beings. They're such magnanimous beings that have been there on the planets. And some of the trees have got maybe there for centuries, we don't know. Now the visible part of the tree is what we can see with our naked eyes, but there is a huge part of the tree which is not seen to us. It is the roots of the tree. Deep, deep, deep invisible trees that are going down into the earth, anchoring the tree, right? And that's what keeps it stable, secure. No matter storms come, no matter what happens, hurricanes come, everything may come, but the tree rarely gets uprooted. That is because of its foundation. And today I want you to imagine that your foundation is something like that tree. So now I want you to, if your eyes are not closed, close your eyes. Imagine yourself sitting and embodying the energy and the presence of a tree. And just like a tree, I want you to imagine deep, long roots growing down from the base of your spine or the base of your feet. And for this, it's best if you're sitting on a chair or on a sofa, keep your feet flat on the floor, uncross them if they are crossed. But if you're sitting in Sukhasana, on the floor or on the bed, that's absolutely okay. In your visualization, I want you to imagine deep, long roots are going down. That's right. Keep imagining deep, long roots going down, and they're extending down into Mother Earth, into the heart of Mother Earth. And these roots are giving you anchorage. They are getting into the center of Mother Earth, which is a crystalline energy, throbbing, beautiful heart of gold, pink, white, gold energy in the center of Mother Earth. This is where all the magic happens that sustains us on the planet. Imagine your roots are going down deep and wrapping around this energetic heart of the earth. And feel that you are deeply grounded, deeply, deeply grounded. Nothing exists except your roots. And know that you are stable, supported, and safe. And I want you to say these words in your heart. I am supported unconditionally. I am supported unconditionally. I am safe. I am secure. And as these roots are growing down, anchoring you, I want you to use these roots as channels, just as a tree uses its roots to absorb nutrition and energy. I want you to take this life force energy from the center of the earth. Bring it up. Keep bringing it up. Through your roots, all this prana, life force energy, strength, vitality is being channeled through the roots into your body, through your spine or the base of your feet, and allow this energy to move up into your heart center and through your entire being. Feeling as best as you can, I am safe, I am grounded. And now I want you to know that you are this being of light with these deep roots. And I want you to imagine as if you were surrounded by an orb. What is an orb? It's like a sphere. Just imagine almost 6 feet wide pool of red light that is going down from your navel region, spreading three-dimensionally, a pool of red, deep red light. And it is like a skirt that you're wearing, but it is 6 feet wide. You're in the center of this pool of tub of red light from your navel downwards, going down into the heart of Mother Earth. Surrounding you, this deep pool. You're in the center of this pool of light, this red light. That's right. So feel yourself surrounded with this. Keeping your attention, awareness here. Knowing that wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, and saying the words, I am opening, balancing, and activating my root chakra now through the power of my intention. And so it is. I am opening, energizing, balancing my root chakra. Keep seeing this red color, keep feeling these roots. I am safe, I am grounded. Take 3 deep breaths. And just allow yourself to feel the vibrations, tinglings, anything that you may be feeling in your lower half of the body. I am safe. I am grounded. And now I want you to thank Mother Earth. Allow these roots, knowing that they're always there supporting you, to now slowly disappear from your vision. Having activated your root chakra, it stays active. You stay in harmony, you stay in resonance, you stay in coherence. Just allowing your experience to be what it is. I want you to take 3 deep breaths of awareness. And I want you in your vision to put your forehead on Mother Earth and just say these words, Tera tujhko arpan, yours back to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want you to rub your palms. And just feel the energy, feel it gently, putting your hands lovingly on your body, on your legs, on your face, on your arms, wherever you feel. And then gently in your time, opening your eyes. And I want you to share with me, how did that experience feel for you? Anybody can unmute.
Yeah, I've been doing this grounding for last almost 1 year. I walk barefoot on the grass and then I stand there for about 15 minutes in the grass and then do this grounding work. But today it was completely different because yes, I felt very strong from my legs, that they're deep rooted and surrounded by the cosmic energy of the earth. So they're holding on to my roots, and so I felt very strong.
Very good.
But in between, I slept also for a few seconds. So I don't know why that happened, but it happened.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, sir. I will take that up on the second session. So second session, I'm going to be actually talking about brain waves. So we have something called the alpha, beta, gamma, theta, delta brain waves. So the moment you get into relaxation and into visualization, you step out of the thinking brain wave, which is the alpha brain wave, and you go into beta. Now, beta feels like a sleep-like state, but you're not actually in the sleep, but that's the slowing down of the brain waves, and it is entering gently in your meditative or subconscious state. So that's exactly what happened to you.
But I missed few of your words, and I didn't know what happened during that few seconds, and then I came back and got again.
The conscious mind had checked out, but the subconscious mind was still very active, receiving it. And we'll talk about it in the next session, but you have the recording and you please replay that. And this is something I don't leave my house without every day. When I became a Reiki master many years ago, when I was working with energy, I do this. And this is what I was talking to you about, what my surgeon told me. He's a very, very famous maxillofacial surgeon. He told me, Nupur, go out, sit under the tree, take 3 deep breaths and come back. He wanted me to get grounded again. And many, many years back, I asked him, sir, what were you telling me? Because that time I didn't have a clue of all this. And he was a yogic practitioner. He used to do yoga. And he said, this is what we do when before every surgery, I imagine myself sitting under a tree. I imagine the roots going down, and then I operate on an individual. So this has deep impact. Thank you for sharing.
You have to do imaginary, or you have to actually do or sitting under the tree?
So we do both. Very good question. Please do it in your imagination. But if you're like me, I go out, I sit under trees, I hug trees. Hugging trees and sitting under trees is a very, very powerful exercise.
I do it every day. Hugging trees, I do every day.
Brilliant, sir. No wonder you're in this workshop. We have so much to learn from each other. So don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel shy. Go out and hug trees. Sit under them. Just spend 10 minutes with them. You will be grounded without doing anything.
People who are walking across, they think he's mad. So, but I feel very relaxed, and I get all the energies from the tree. And I thank the tree for giving us life, because all oxygen are coming from the, all our breathing, everything is coming from the tree.
Yes, yes.
So I feel very happy hugging the tree, as if, it is giving me all.
That's a very powerful practice. That's a very, very powerful practice. And thank you for sharing that with the group. We all must do that as much as we can. And people can think, in fact, a lot of people will be inspired. Now, the tree that I go for, there is a little forest patch here. And there are 2 trees which I love. All trees are amazing, but I'm sorry to have a preference. And I hug them, and 3-4 people have asked me, is there something special about this tree? I said, no, all trees are special, but somehow this tree talks to me. So I just hug it more. And I've seen people have started to hug it now, believe it or not. So, you never know how you are creating a shift in the consciousness, because now we know we are a collective consciousness. So every action we do impacts the collective. Right? So well done. Anybody else would like to share how that felt for them or did not feel for them? That's both are okay. Yeah, you decide. Anjana can go first. Okay.
So the roots going down, actually, like my feet felt like, it was stuck to the ground. The only thing is I couldn't find the center of earth. Like it was like, a golden tunnel, but the end of it was still black. So you still had to go, impossible for me to actually connect to the heart of it or the color it.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't say impossible.
The other colors flashing.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I didn't try too hard, but then even if I tried, so it was, I don't know. So,
this is a practice which has no prescriptions. You make it your own. What's most important is to connect with the roots and have the intention to reach the heart of Mother Earth if you can, because we don't know where that heart is. But that is the center that is creating that life force energy. And how I tell when I do my one-to-one coaching, I say is that we have a field called gravitational force. So imagine there is this most powerful magnet in the center of the earth that is actually creating that gravitational force. And that magnet in the center of the heart of Mother Earth is what is being attracting our roots. and it is keeping us in place, and our roots are around. So this practice, Anjana, will keep becoming stronger and stronger and stronger for you, right? So just go with your intuition and just go with and play with it like a child. Remember beginner's mind. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shruti, please go ahead.
So I realized that 75% of the keywords that I wrote as part of my challenges are related to root chakra. And interestingly, I had written, I have like little feet pain. There is no other physical ailment, but there is a lot of feet pain that happens. And I've shown to all the orthos and physiotherapists, nothing has come, nothing has been diagnosed. So sometimes I just have to live with it. So now I see that if 75% of other problems are related to root chakra, maybe even the feet pain is related to that. So it's very interesting discovery for me that, you know, everything falls into place maybe if I start doing this practice. And it felt really nice. It was really beautiful experience.
Wonderful.
I found it really challenging to imagine the roots and that red circle at the same time. So it was also imagining the roots and the red skirt, you know, the big 6 feet thing. So
that is me being a little greedy, wanting to give you multiple tools at the same time. Please practice them separately. They are two separate energy practices. But I intuitively got guided to tell you right now because I don't have much time and I want to give you. So when you're doing it in your time, you sometimes imagine that red skirt, red pool. Imagine you're in the center of a pool, right? And there's a very beautiful pool from your navel downwards. You're in that red pool. It's going all the way down like a waterfall of red light all the way down into the center of the earth or wherever you want it to go deep, right? Do that separately. You can do the roots separately. And when you're imagining the roots, Shruti, imagine the pain going down from the roots into the Mother Earth, asking for Mother Earth to release the pain, release the discomfort, and bring up from the roots healing and activation and comfort and ease. So add this another layer to your practice whenever you're ready to. Okay. Sure. And you can always message me and I can help you.
Sure. Also the red thing, we can also imagine the petals, like the diagram that you showed. Yes. So it could be like water falling, or it could also be the red petals opening.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It need not be just at the back of the spine. We can imagine the flower all around.
Yes, so ideally root chakras, yes, so it has to be 3-dimensional all around you. Ideally, I like to do it navel downwards because all 3 lower chakras are very connected. So, you know, we will start with this and then we will work deeper as we go deeper.
Sure. Thank you.
Reshma, please go ahead.
So 2 quick things. One is that just today, instinctively in the morning, I walked bare feet. After a long time, my feet had been hurting. So that was just like quite magical how that connected. Secondly, like when you told us to imagine, you know, it felt like the womb of the earth, really, like, you know, and then of course my mind was like being monkey mind, and it went to this film called Tumbad, which has this like kind of almost like a horror feeling of that. Yes. And I was scared when I saw the film, and there was this woman who becomes a tree, and you know, so there were all these sort of so-called negative images or scary. Well, I was scared, to be honest. But when that image came today, when I was doing the thing, I was not scared at all. It was beautiful. Like it was fantastic because I've actually been petrified of those images coming into my head earlier, you know. And today when they came, I was like, "Ha, theek hai." Like, okay, so, you know, and then I imagined my trees, and of course it was all over the place, which I didn't mind. Like, you know, it didn't feel wrong. Like, you know, I could imagine parts of it, and you know, but it was magical. And I did that mudra, and I felt like a lot of throbbing in my fingers and my feet.
Okay. Very good, very good, very nice. Thank you for sharing that, Reshma. So this is, as I said, visualization. Make it your own. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Any point you're getting stuck, please reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer and help. Good. So I think we have come to the end of our session 1. Lots to take in, but thank you for holding on.
Can I request you, if we can do this root chakra, this thing again before we begin the next session, just for 5 to 2 minutes, or maybe it'll help us to.
Yeah, we will always do that, sir. We will always begin the next session with the background of the previous session.
Any particular time when we should do this root chakra?
I would say when you are stepping out of your, if you're a morning person and if you're stepping out of your to work or to do something, when the moment you start your day, whatever ritual you have, if you start your day with a cup of tea or you start your day, integrate that with that thing, just sit and imagine the roots. It can be very quick. Now, this is a very powerful energy healing technique. It can be very quick. If you have the time to do it as a meditation, do it. If you can't, just imagine roots going deep down. And next session, I will also teach you how to ground another person through your intention. So somebody's acting really funny with you. They're all over the place. They're misbehaving. You can ground them through the power of your intention. So I'll do that. If I forget it, Shruti, will you please remind me?
Done. Also, this has nothing to do with food intake, like empty stomach, like how we generate.
Nothing to do. But if you're feeling ungrounded, increase red fruits in your life. Increase red peppers, increase red berries, tomatoes.
Sorry, this apple.
Apples, of course. So these are very grounding fruits. Yeah. And there must be more, I'm not able to remember. Strawberries.
Just one question.
Yes.
I do my meditation in the morning with crossed legs, sitting on the earth.
Yeah.
In my house, of course. So at that time, it can be done, right? This
yes, perfect. You're already in connection with the earth, and you have got the spine there. So you just imagine it coming down. So you can imagine it from the spine, like if you're sitting like this, from the tailbone, or if your feet are flat, then you can imagine roots from the feet, but they're connecting from feet and then the spine together. So your lower half is kind of connected with the roots. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong, everything is perfect. Just trust your intentions.
There's one true heart meditation used to do in pranic healing where we would imagine earth between the palms and bless earth. So I could also relate to that, but this one I found I could connect more to this one.
Yeah. We will be in fact doing the handwork from next session onwards. So there is, I'm going to be activating, I've not even talked about hand chakras. Hand chakras are very powerful and they can help us in each area, each chakra activation. So we will be doing a bit of that next session also. All right, my lovelies.
Doctor, you only completed only one chakra today, and we have only 3 sessions, and you said 12 chakras to be completed. So how will you do that?
No, only 7 chakras. In this workshop, my promise is only 7 chakras.
So even 7.
We will do follow-ups. We will finish it, sir. Don't worry. We will do follow-ups, and in follow-ups, as and when it happens, we will do more chakras. But the promise is that you will definitely be covering all 7 chakras in 3+1 sessions, somehow or the other.
Don't be in a hurry.
Okay, I won't be. All right. Thank you so much.
Beautiful session. So enjoyed it. So many takeaways.
Loved it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right.
You have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. All of you as well. Bye-bye. Thank you.